Good morning, disc golf fans, and welcome back to Morton, Illinois. The final round of the 2023 Ledgestone Open is underway. A little bit earlier than normal. Storms coming in later in the afternoon. Everyone's tee time pushed back. But we have a final round here at Northwoods Black. Tournament Central, Brian Earhart, Nate Perkins. Nate, yesterday we talked to numerous MPO players that played here after all the rain and mud, and Northwoods sounded like it was playing harder than it's ever played.
Yeah, it was certainly one of the grindiest days on the Disc Golf Pro Tour I can recall. There were trees down in the fairway, that massive tree down in 3 that came into play. Not too many other trees did come into play, but the tee pads, Brian. I mean, this course is hard enough when you have crisp tee pads, but there was mud caked on every pad, and a lot of players said the same thing. They said it wasn't necessarily that they were slipping, it was the inability to trust the feet and to wonder if you do come in with a lot of momentum, will you get that slip? And that seemed to be pretty consistent across the board. So even on a sunny day, Brian, here in the morning, the tee pads are wet because of the morning dew here in the Midwest. And the tee times got moved up today to avoid the potential storms later in the day. So the FPO have been teeing off around, 9:50? And they're going to tee off at 8:12 today. So tee times moved up an hour and a half. You add that to the fact that they just played in the wind and the rain yesterday, and the tee pads are going to be terrible today.
Well, we have to talk about that because this course, I mean, like you said, with even dry tee pads is extremely challenging. Getting off the tee is extremely important out here. Players are going to have to be a little bit more strategic in the way they attack these holes. They're probably not going to get to take the birdies that they usually take just because the course is playing so much worse than it was previously. I mean, dry conditions can score a few under par as a hot round, and then now out here, I mean, I think even's going to be an amazing day. I think the first person we have to talk about is Missy Gannon. Does the muddy conditions and the tougher tee pads out here give her an advantage over the rest of the field?
Because she has 4 strokes, I think it does. I think if things were even, it would be a toss-up between her, and Owen Scoggins, Ella, Hansen, Holland, but because she has 4, it's going to be so much harder for the people behind her to catch her. Like you said, it even could potentially be the hot round of the day. So I really don't see Missy blowing up. She doesn't really have the potential to lose her straight thrasher shots. So she's got a pretty good advantage going into this final round.
Well, I think a big deal is if she isn't crisp off the tee. She doesn't have the big sidearm. I think out here, scrambling is imperative. And I think if you're not always in the middle of the fairway, you're having to throw some craftier shots. So yes, it's tougher to gain strokes out here in the form of birdies, but it's very easy to lose strokes out here if you aren't getting off the tee clean. We did have some sound from Missy. We caught up with her after her round yesterday. Let's hear what she had to say.
I felt pretty good starting off with a birdie. And then I missed a couple of putts for birdies in that first stretch. So, I mean, I was throwing the disc well. I just kind of wasn't getting those next putts to fall for some reason. But, yeah, again, just trying to stay patient, not think too much about the scores. There was so much golf left at that point and a whole nother round at Northwood, which anything can happen out there. So, again, staying patient, staying calm, and just trying to get them where I can. I'm going to go into that round thinking that I have no strokes, that it's all even. And, just try to not think about protecting my score at all. I still need to attack Northwood the way that I practiced and the way that I did on the first round. So, just try not to think about scores and just think about the game plan, and that's all I can do.
Well, we heard from Simon Lizotte earlier in the week something very similar to what Missy said. I don't want to start going into defense mode, feeling like I have to protect my score. Going against the game plan really doesn't feel productive whatsoever. So I'm glad that she's thinking this way. Nate, we have to talk about the next player here, Owen Scoggins, who's right behind her. Does she have what it takes to make up those 4 strokes?
Yeah, Owen definitely does, especially especially if Missy makes some mistakes early and Owen's hitting some putts from circle 2, because I feel like Owen, she likes to swing the disc wide, on these big flex lines, pardon me. And out here, there's just enough airspace, Brian, for those flex lines to work. And I think she's really going to need a little bit of help. This is a great look on the 10th here, swinging that destroyer back into the bullseye right there. Owen is capable of giving herself circle 2 looks on, more than half the course. It's just a matter of if she's dropping them early and she's putting some early pressure on Missy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you can put pressure on her on the green, if you can big putt a few times and make the player feel like they have to start gaining strokes in the form of birdies, that's how you beat people out here at Northwoods Black. I've talked to numerous players that have said, if you try to get overly aggressive out here, it's almost useless. There's nothing beneficial to doing that out here. I mean, the shots that you need to throw off the tee to get pars are probably the same shots you need to get birdies. You just need to make a few more putts. So Owen definitely has what it takes if she's putting well, and like she said, she has to play some pretty phenomenal golf to do it, but I think she can. Let's hear what she had to say yesterday after her round.
You're 4 strokes behind Missy going into the woods tomorrow. What do you think you're going to have to do?
I have to play amazing golf. I have to play amazing golf if I want to even have chance to even tie her or get her, because I know Missy, she's a very good player and she's very, very good with the wood. She will hit the gap just like nothing, and then of course she have a putting. Like I said, I need to be play clean and I have to hit the gap and make the putt. So it's no mistake for me out there tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, no mistakes is a pretty good game plan, I suppose. I think it's easier said than done out here, but I think it's going to be a battle regardless of the strokes difference between first and second. Another player that's in second place is Ella Hansen, who shot a 1 under par here in round 1, but she double bogeyed one of the easiest par 4s out here in hole number 5. I mean, that can easily swing in the other direction and put her at 3 under par, which is right in the mix. So, Nate, you've watched her quite a bit. You actually caddied for her one of the rounds. What are you seeing from her, and what does she need to adjust here at Northwoods Black?
Well, she's throwing her slow speed discs really well, better than we've seen her all year. And, she's got that back injury that's kind of preventing her from attacking. And that was actually a big moment of the round yesterday. That was to prevent her from going double bogey to start. And the thing that I picked up on from Ella yesterday was just her attitude shift. I mean, when you go double bogey to start the 3rd round, normally that would send her into a panic, and she stayed calm. Just one more bogey on the round, and she found herself back on the lead card after making that 30-footer on the 18th. Ella definitely has the potential to go low here at Northwoods. That was her first time ever shooting under par in that opening round. And, Missy hasn't shot over par here since 2021, Brian. Last year she went 8 down on through 2 rounds here at Northwoods. So.
Well, Missy Gannon absolutely in the driver's seat going into today's round. She's going to have to earn it. I love that she said she's going to play like she has 0 strokes on the rest of the field. With that said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to tease Holland Hanley a little bit. We're going to get on the other side. We'll talk about her soon.
Honestly, it was at the very end there, keeping focus on 16, 17, and 18. I felt like, I should have shot one better on each of those 3 holes. But
All right, heading back to the woods tomorrow, any adjustments you want to make at Northwood? I mean, it's still a tight race and anything can happen.
yeah, I felt like round 1 I didn't really throw that poorly, so I'm going to stick to the same game plan. Sometimes you're an inch off, sometimes you're perfect, so we're just going to hope that I'm feeling on.
Most proud of just being consistent. I didn't have any bogeys today, which I think the last time I had a bogey-free round was last year at Des Moines. So it's been a while, and I was talking about that last night with Cynthia and Kyle. I was like, man, it's been a long time, and then I guess it happened today. So, yeah, anything can happen, so I'm just going to go out there and try to play consistent and play smooth. Last year I didn't even make the cut. Yeah, just going to have fun.
Well, the first thing I want to ask, Nate, is we've been watching Ella Hansen and Holland Hanley ever since they came on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, wondering who was going to get the big win first. They're both in contention right now. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up, isn't it? I mean, Ella's been closer, I feel like, especially with that performance at Waco. But Holland's actually performed a little better, in the majors. She took 3rd at Worlds when Kristen won in Kansas, and they both have similar ceilings. They both are the furthest throwers on the tour. Holland probably has a little bit further of a forehand than Ella, and they both make putts from distance. I feel like Holland's a little bit better from deep in circle 2, but Holland hasn't shot under par here ever, even twice last year, and that's what it's going to take. It's going to take 5, 6, maybe 7 down from Holland to climb back in this. She's 5 back, so I see Missy shooting 1 or 2 down.
I mean, this is an elite athlete in multiple sports, even before she got into disc golf just a few years ago. So these conditions and these moments are what she lives for. And I think for both of them, Holland and Ella, I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen for them. But when who's going to push through that second place finish and actually get to the winner's circle? I'm not sure. Holland seems confident. She's just going to have to come out here and throw good tee shots, put herself into some less stressful situations than the rest of the field. Like you said, it's going to take a 5, 6, or 7 under par to make a push for the win. With that said, Missy Valadiaz said she has not shot a bogey-free round in over a year. So it's great that she shot well yesterday at Sunset, but can she come here today and do the same at Northwoods Black?
Yeah, I mean, the bogey-free round that she shot yesterday, Brian, was in torrential downpour, sideways rain, and 20-mile-per-hour gusts. So really impressive 5 under par effort from her yesterday. And this is her at Des Moines. This is her second best finish of the year, taking her second podium at an Elite Series event. Of course, we watched her battle with Kristen Tatar down the wire back in the spring in Nashville. An incredible performance. And, you know, both Des Moines and Nashville they have a little bit more airspace to them. Not the most technical tracks on the tour. And I'm looking forward to seeing Missy throw a lot of forehands today out here at Northwoods. She typically does like a little bit more of the hyzer forehand with the stable disc, and so I'm very keen to see if she kind of has that flat hyzer flip kind of drift forehands. But we'll just have to wait and see if she's got another bogey-free round up her sleeve.
Well, the thing that I have to say is she shot this 5 under par bogey-free yesterday, but you look at her stats, she's missed 9 Circle 1 putts this tournament. I mean, that's the difference between her now and her in first place. I mean, the driving is clearly there. She just needs to capitalize when she puts herself into Circle 1, and it sounds like she's doing that quite a bit. Another player that we have to talk about that has tons of experience on courses like this, Sarah Hokum, who's obviously a major champion in Charlotte, North Carolina, of all places, one of the most wooded places for disc golf in the world. I think she has a huge advantage. You're talking about the hyzer flip forehand, the drifty forehands right to left. I mean, this is perfect course for her, really. I mean, this is a player that we could see easily make a big push and shoot that 5, 6, 7 under.
Yeah, she certainly could. She is an angle control master. I mean, the most experienced player in the division. And she hurt herself on the putting green yesterday. She had that 3-putt early on hole 4, and that kind of took the wind out of her sails. And she threw the disc extremely well. She just kept putting herself in deep in circle one, and the wind was up yesterday, and her kind of floaty, spin putt, it just wasn't great for the wind. And so she only carded 3 birdies at Sunset yesterday, and of course just finished 1 under par. This was her best putt of the day right there, Brian. That one happened to be in the direct tailwind. She was able to just get the nose up, and it just slammed it right down into the cage.
I think it's going to be a big day for a lot of players, and I think Missy's going to have to really watch herself and shoot a solid round if she wants to secure the victory here. With that said, we are going to take a quick commercial break. There's MPO action happening. We're going back to Lake Eureka this afternoon. We will see you then.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines that NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make different so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
Welcome back. Joined here by Tournament Director Nate Heinold. Nate, not only is there a big pro side here, there's an enormous am side, over 2,000 amateur players scattered throughout the central Illinois area. Reflect on the week. I know yesterday we had some inclement weather, but overall it seems like everybody's having a great time out there.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of players last night at the Fly Mart, and pros and AMs alike, and Lake Eureka took a lot of discs yesterday from the AMs. There was a lot of mud, but the spirits were surprisingly high. I was actually worried that I was going to be mauled there, but spirits were high.
Well, let's talk about maybe something on the more positive side. I know a lot of players had tough rounds out at Northwoods and at Lake Eureka, inevitably so with this kind of weather, but let's talk about what Ledgestone does to give back. I mean, we've had a relationship with St. Jude for a long time. Talk about how that was this year and how everything's going.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to work with St. Jude, Easter Seals, the Paul Macbeth Foundation. We're coming up on 10 years of charitable contributions. $532,000 is what we've given so far, and we're looking to do another 6-figure donation today. For those that are here in person, we're going to have our raffle today, this afternoon at Lake Eureka. All proceeds go to St. Jude.
Well, that's incredible to hear. Thank you for that clarity. One last question for you before I let you go. You got reelected to board of directors, and there's a lot going on in disc golf right now. What do you have going on personally right now, and then also with the PDGA?
I mean, personally, it's, my team finishes here and we clean up, and then we leave in 5 days for declo, and then we come back, and then I start on planning for Pro Worlds next year, and Ledgestone and Deglo, and Champions Cup for next year. So big, very big, busy time. But the board, this is my last term. My wife will be so happy to hear that one more term. We have a lot of priorities with, we want to get away from, we want to move forward with, growing the sport again. I have some big ideas to get more courses in the ground, do some more stuff on the youth and education side, and collegiate disc golf, and more benefits for our members in terms of requiring membership to play in a C tier. A lot of our members always say they events fill up too quickly, so giving them the benefits of playing in C tiers without having non-members play and giving another tier of events is a priority. So I think we're going to see those changes for next year.
Well, thank you for all that transparency, Nate. I know you have a lot going on, so I'll let you go. And with that said, we're going to hear from our MPO competitors who we're going to get to watch this afternoon.
Especially only being one up going into this round, I thought it would take probably like a 5 or a 6 to maybe maintain a stroke lead. To have 4 with only a 3 under today is mind-blowing to me.
I mean, out here it's pars are good sometimes on some of the harder holes. I think someone explained it perfect. Birdies are hard to get and bogeys are easy if you're not careful. So yeah, this course just I feel like you're handcuffed almost all the shots. If you miss a shot, you know that bogey, double bogey is just right around the corner. So yeah, I think for me, I just want to manage out here, and I feel like Eureka's where I can really score and then potentially make a chance to give myself a chance to win.
How does that feel to find yourself on the lead card tomorrow?
I'm on the lead card tomorrow. All right. Wow. That's great. I'm very excited. Those last 4 just kind of strung together, and I just am happy to have made my putt on 18 today because yesterday I had a similar putt for par and missed. So feels good.
If I can stay OB free, there's a good chance that everyone else is going to throw OB, and that's usually a 1, if not 2-stroke swing. So if there was something for a big change, it would be at the Eureka course.
I found myself in spots I didn't even know existed. Yeah, no, it was one of those moments where it's like, oh, crap, you hit the first tree. That's not good. And then you're hitting every other tree, and it's just like you can't stop. I wanted to be on lead card again. I feel like I have a better view of what's going on when I'm on there. But still excited to be 4 back and tie for second. So it's still my personal best finish so far. So, yeah, hopefully to put some more birdies together and finish well.
You can definitely overcome 4 strokes. So, especially out at Eureka, if someone's not throwing great, it's the lines creep up really quick and someone can take a big number. So, 4 is definitely not something that you can't overcome, but I'm gonna have to shoot a really good round to do it.
Well, you gotta love a tournament like this ending at such an iconic and infamous course as Lake Eureka. Calvin said it best, the lines can creep up on you quick and you can spiral if things aren't going your way early. Talk about Cole, talk about what he needs to do to maintain this 4-stroke lead. I mean, this course has huge scoring spread, potentially the biggest scoring spread on the tour itself.
Yeah, I agree. It's a course that, typically averages right around par with some, 1030 plus rated players shooting over. Every year we see people blowing up on the front. Cole's in a really good spot, Brian, because the people chasing him are going to have to get aggressive. So he's going to watch, hey, who's throwing well? How well are they throwing? He's going to be able to get to react to them and go, okay, now that I've played the front 4, front 6, like pretty conservatively, maybe netted a few birdies, then he can start to attack the rest of the course depending on whether or not the people chasing him did well on those front 6.
Well, and that's the thing about this course that's different from Northwoods Black. Pressing at Northwoods Black is not really a thing. You have to get off the tee no matter what, or else you're taking a bogey or worse. Out there at Lake Eureka, there's a lot of decisions you can make. You can press if you want to press. There's certain situations where you can throw a more conservative layup that still gives you a circle 2 putt, but it's a much easier line. But you can see players that feel like they have to save strokes because they took a double, triple bogey early on, and then they go out of bounds, and that's when Calvin said the lines creep up on you. It seems like you cannot find in bounds, and I've seen it time and time again. You and I have both played this course numerous times in tournament situations, and we've watched some of the best players in the world go 5, 6 over par. So these same players can go 10 under par out here. So anything can happen. Cole is not safe. None of the players are safe. There's a few players that we want to talk about, though. First off, Casey White, tied for second place, made the lead card, didn't know he made the lead card. Eyes looked like they were about to bulge out of his head, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the most competitive tournaments of the year that's not a major event. And, it's an elite plus. We have 140 of the best golfers in the world. It's difficult to make a lead card on any round, and even more difficult to make the lead card during the final round. So this is already a big moment for Casey White's career. We haven't seen him on the lead card final round since 2 years ago at Texas State's when he was making that run there. And regardless of how he performs, the man's going to be wearing a smile. It's going to be good for him, good for Discmania, good for all of his fans out there. And he has a chance to win. I mean, he throws the disc plenty far to attack any hole, and he's got a green light to attack. I don't think he's playing for position. I think, being 4 back, he's going to attack the baseball field hole. He's probably going to attack hole 6 as well. He's going to send it on 8. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he's hitting his lines early and if the putts are dropping.
I have one last player that I want to talk about who is easily going to press Cole today, a guy who's won at this tournament before multiple times, Ricky Wysocki, who destroys Lake Eureka. He eats this course for breakfast, and he's talked about how he likes playing out here, and he has an answer for every situation on the course. I mean, he has an answer for almost every course and every hole, but out here we have to look at Ricky Wysocki as a guy who can catch Cole Redalen. I mean, hole 1 is no problem for him, but then being able to drop the long circle 2 putts is huge out here because of the fact that some of the holes are so difficult. You're not going to find a bullseye every single time out here. He usually shoots pretty well in the front 9. I mean, even going 4 under on the front is a great score. I mean, that opens up the door for you to shoot well into the double digits. So Ricky is a guy I'm going to keep my eye very close on.
Yeah, I think, Cole, having Ricky on the card, that's the one guy that's certainly going to make you feel the pressure, feel like this is actually for the win. He doesn't have, he's not your friend when he's when he's trying to catch you. So having guys like Marweed and Casey White on the card might, be a little different than having a killer. I mean, what is he, a 5-time champion here at Ledgestone?
Yeah, Nate, I'm looking forward to seeing the action today, and I'm looking forward to seeing the disparity between how Ricky approaches and how Cole approaches. But today is Cole's day to prove himself. So with that said, we're going to get back to the FPO action here at Northwoods. Final round is underway. For Tournament Central, Brian Earhart, Nate Perkins. It's going to be a heater today, folks.
Join the Paul Macbeth Foundation's Builders Club to help bring sustainable disc golf experiences to people and communities around the world. For a small monthly donation, you can help us make a real impact. Your donation will go directly to making a difference. By becoming a monthly subscriber, you'll also receive exclusive updates on our work, special offers, and discounts. So join us today and make a difference with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Together we can make a big impact, one small donation at a time.